Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own Discord bots. There's only a couple of things you need. You need some basic JavaScript knowledge, and you'll have to go and install Node.js if you don't already have it. And that's all you're really going to need. So it's actually pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and create a new folder. It doesn't matter where you put it. And we'll just open in Visual Studio so we have a way to edit our code. You can do this in Notepad, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so first we're going to need 3 files. We're going to need main.js. This is going to hold not all of our bot code, but it's going to be where we mainly interact with our bot. And then we'll need auth.json. This is where we're going to keep our bot token. That'll make more sense later. And we're going to need package.json. This is where we're going to store information about our bot. So we'll actually start in here. So first, we'll just give it a name. We'll just call this tutorial bot. There's not allowed to be any spaces in the name. Okay, and then we'll give it a version. And we'll just call it 1.0.0. And we'll give it a description. This can be anything you want. And then we need to let it know where our main code is going to be. So this is going to be our main.js file. Okay, and then the author of the program, this can be your name. It doesn't matter what this is, I'll just make it random letters. And then dependencies. This is going to be empty for now. It will be filled with more later once we use Node to install some packages. And so that's all for this file. Now we need to actually go and create our bot with Discord. So you can go over to the Discord developer portal. You can click new application, give it a name. We'll just call this tutorial bot. And it creates an application for you. You go down to bot, add bot, and by default it just gives you the name of your application. You don't really have to change that. You can if you want. And then this is the token that I was talking about earlier. This is how people can interact. This is how the programmer interacts with the bot. So if anybody besides you has this, they can potentially make your bot do something that you don't want it to do. So you kind of want to keep this as secret as possible, and that's one of the reasons that we put it in its own JSON file. So in here, we'll just have token, and we'll set it equal to the Discord token. We need to save this as well. So now it's stored in this file. It's not a hard-coded string that's going to be in our main.js or anything like that. So that way it's not as easy as access. Like if somebody looked at your bot code, they'd be able to find your token, and that's not good. So we have our bot. Now we need to actually use the Discord API. So in order to do that, we'll go back to Visual Studio Code. We're going to need a command prompt, and then you just want to navigate to where your bot is. I think we called it tutorial, yeah. And now we need this is where Node comes in. If you haven't used Node, this won't make too much sense, I don't think, but I don't think it'll be too confusing. So npm, that's Node Package Manager, and then we want to install a package, and the package we want to install is discord.js. And let me just click enter and it'll install it. You don't have to worry about any of the warnings. Notice up here we have node modules now. This is just the packages that it put in our project for us, so that way we can use them. And in our package.json, notice it automatically added our dependency. You don't have to worry about this package lock.json. You don't mess with that. That's just strictly for Node. Okay, so now we can actually get into coding our bot. So first we have to import the Discord API, so we'll just store it in a variable called Discord equals, and with Node you can type require and then the name of the package, and it'll look for it in your project relative, well, it'll look in the Node modules, and if not, it'll look relative to this file. So we need discord.js. That's the Discord API. We also need a way to get our token. So we'll just call this auth, and we'll import it from since it's not in our Node modules package, it's relative to the path. We just put ./, which means the current directory, and then we just say auth.json. Okay, now we need to create a bot. This is going to be what we use to, this is the object that we're going to actually use to interact with the connection we make to the Discord server. So we'll just call it bot, and it's going to be equal to new discord.client. So now we have a Discord client that we can interact with, and now we can give it some functionality. For example, we can say bot.on, and this accepts two arguments: the events, the name of the event, and the event we'll do is ready. So this is basically when your bot first connects to the server, and then you pass it a function as the second argument. And then here you can just put any code. We'll just console.log connected, and we'll just say connected as, and then we'll actually use our bot. So bot.user.username. Oh, we need a plus here. So this is just how you get the username of your bot. Alright, so now when we connect to the server, this is what's going to happen. And then to actually connect, we actually have to log in as our bot. So we just say bot.login, and then here we need to pass it our token that we use to connect, and this will be an auth.token, which again is stored in this auth.json file. We just imported it up here. So this should work. You can go back to your command prompt and type node and then main.js, which is where our main code is. And as you can see, connected as tutorial bot. So how do we actually get this bot in our server? Hold on, let me just close that out. There's this super weird link. I mean, it's not really weird, but you're obviously not going to memorize it, so you'll probably have to pause the video and type it in, or you could probably find it somewhere online. But we want to take this, copy it, we want to paste it in our browser, and right here where it says client ID, we need to go back to our bot, go to general information, and here's our client ID for this application. You just want to copy it, go back to the new tab, and we want to replace client ID with our client ID of our application. Press enter. It'll bring up this page so you can add it to a specific server. We'll just add it to this test server I already have, and click authorize. And it is in our server. I will bring Discord over here. second. I will just create a channel real quick. Okay. So as you see online, our tutorial bot is in here. And the reason it's online is because we, actually no. It shouldn't be online. It was probably just taking a while to disconnect. But as long as you have Node and then main.js running and it hasn't thrown any errors, the bot will stay online and it'll receive input. Okay, so we'll go back to our code. So all this is working. So when someone types like a command or something, you want your bot to do something. So the way I have gone about this to kind of make it easier, it just makes it super simple to add new commands, manage your current commands, anything like that. So first we need another event to listen for another event from our bot, which is message. This happens when anytime a message is sent from anybody, it doesn't matter who. And then we will pass it a function, and as a parameter it'll take a message object which stores a bunch of information about the channel it was sent from, who it was sent from, when the timestamp and stuff like that. So first, usually commands start with like an exclamation point or an equal sign or something like that. So an easy way to check for that is if, and then we'll say message.content, which is the actual string that is sent in the message, and we'll say dot starts with, and we'll say exclamation point. So this means it's a command, and then why is this bugging out? Here, we'll just retype this. We'll say if message.content.starts with, then we will console.log command sent. Oh, command received rather. Okay, so if you go back here, we can start up our bot again. Okay, we go back to Discord, and then we can type, we can go to our console, nothing's popped up, but if we type an exclamation point, then we type something, send it, it'll say command received, because it's looking for that exclamation point. Okay, so now we have a way to detect when they're trying to say a command, but we have to parse the string that they send for the name of the command that they're looking for and the arguments that follow it. So the easiest way I've found to do this, there may be an easier way out there, but it just makes it so simple for me, again, to create new commands and manage them. So we'll actually create a new file called command table.js. Okay, so everything, well, not, you don't have to put everything, but all of our commands are going to be exported from this file because we want to use them in other files. We want to import them in our main.js so that way we can actually call these commands. So to do that, we type module.exports equal, and it'll be a JSON object, and we'll start off, we're going to store a command prefix in here so that way it's not hard coded and we can change it on the fly. And we'll just set that equal to the exclamation point. And now we can literally just add a name of a command. It makes it super easy. For example, we can have a greet command, and we just set it equal to a function. Now, in this, as parameters passed to this function, I usually have two. I have the message object, so that way we can access everything the bot receives. Though you may not need it all for this specific command, and if that's the case, if you want, you can ignore it, but I tend to pass it anyways, just in case. And then it'll take an array of arguments. And this is the general format I use for all commands. So literally, I could paste this down here and then just change the name, and then just change the code inside the function and create a new command. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean when I say it's easy to create and manage new commands, because all your commands are just going to follow this format. So we can come in here. So now that we actually need to import our command table actually. So we'll say command table is equal to require, and then we will pass it our current file directory and then command table.js. Okay, so now we can check if it starts with command table dot command prefix. Again, that's just right here. In this file, keep it nice and tidy. So if we find the command prefix, which means somebody's trying to pass a command, first I like to split up the entire message into an array, and I split it by spaces. So I'll say let message array equal to message dot content dot split, and we'll just split it by space. Okay, so we know that the first element of that array, because a command always starts, you always pass the command first and the arguments afterwards, so we know the first element of this array is going to be the actual command. So we'll say let command equal message array element 0, the first element in the array, and we're going to substring, and we're going to say 1 here. So all this does is it just takes the first element of this array, and the substring just removes the command prefix. So if it, for example, if it was exclamation point greet was the command, it would make this command just be greet instead of exclamation point greet. And this makes it super easy to call later, because then we don't have to worry about because like if for example, if I put an exclamation point here, it'll throw an error because that's not a valid function name. You can't start it with special characters, so this just makes it easier for later on. And then we actually need to check if there's any text after the exclamation point, because it could just be an exclamation point and this would still be valid code. So first we say if command dot length is less than or equal to 0, and then we'll just console.log command, and then we will return, because we don't want to run the rest of the code if it's not a valid command. Here you could just have your bot say, oh, that's not a valid command or something like that. We're just going to return for now, just to keep things simple. Right, now we need to abstract the args from this array from the original message. So let args, and the args is just going to be any element after the command. This could be empty, or it could have something in it, but either way it'll be message array dot splice, and we just want to get rid of the first element, so just put 1, so it'll get everything after the initial command. And then now, because we set up this command table the way we did, we can simply well, first we want to check if the command actually exists that they're trying to use. So if command table, and then here in parentheses you can pass the name of it, and it'll simply search this file for that function name or for that property, which just so happens to be a function. So for example, this says greet, so if whatever we pass in here, like we could pass greet, and it'll come in here and say, okay, here's greet, let's call this function. So here we're actually just going to pass command, so it's just going to look for the name of the command that we pass, and we got to check to see if it's equal to null. If it's not equal to null, then we want to actually run the command, but if it is, it means the command wasn't found. We don't have a command for that. Again, here you can say, have your bot say command not found or something like that, send it back to the Discord. But if it does exist, we actually want to call it, so then we can just say command table, we'll pass it command again. And then as arguments, we'll pass it our message, and then our args array. And then if it is null, which means the command doesn't exist, we'll just say command not found. So let's test this, and the way to test this would be to come here and actually add some functionality. For it now, we'll just say console.log, and we'll say message received. Okay, and then we'll start up our Discord bot. Oh, we'll restart it actually because it's still running. Just Control C, restart it. All of our files are saved. And then open up Discord. And then if we type exclamation point, wait, first let's just make sure if we send some random text, nothing happens. But if we send a command that we don't have, make sure that works. Command not found, that's working. And then we'll send a command that we do have, which is greet. And then message received, you see, because that's what we had in the function body of our greet command. So there's one thing there's one problem with this that there's a way to fix, which we will do right now. But the problem is basically if someone presses space one too many times, we'll have arguments that are passed to our functions that will just be blank. We have no use for them. There's no reason to parse them. So we'll just get rid of them. We'll just create a function down here, and we'll call it clean args. We'll just pass it an array. We'll just actually call this args. Let new args. We'll set this equal to an empty array. This is going to be the array we return, and then we just simply want to loop through the array that we passed. So args.length, and then I++, and then at the end, of course, we want to return new args. So in this loop, we'll just say if the element of the args array is not equal to space and args I is not equal to blank, so if it's not equal to anything either, it'll never be null, because if they press space, there's obviously a character there, so we don't really have to check for that. And then, so if it's not a space and it's not just a blank character, then we'll add it to our array that we need to return. Push, and then we'll just say args I. So all this does is checks if it's equal to if each one of our args is equal to a space or a blank character, and if it's not, it just pushes it to our new array, and then we finally return our new array. So up here, where we say args is equal to message array.splice1, we actually want to clean these, so we'll just say clean args, and we'll pass it the array that's returned from the message array.splice. So now but we don't really have to test that. It's pretty straightforward. But in a nutshell, this is the easiest way I found to make a Discord bot. Obviously, there's a lot more functionality that I didn't go over in the Discord API. You can look at the official documentation for that. I'm not going to go over that in this video. I just wanted to show you how storing all your commands in a separate file like this, and just giving them a name, and then parsing for them and on message, it makes life so much easier, because it's set up dynamically, so that way no matter what we pass after the exclamation point, it'll either look for it as a command. If it's not, we handle it, and if it is a command, we call whatever in the function body of that command. Just to show simplicity, we'll create another command. We'll call this help, and in here we'll actually send a message. So we will say, we'll actually send something back to the Discord. We'll say message dot channel dot send, and we'll say this is the help menu. Okay, we'll come down here, we'll restart our bot. If we go back to Discord, we can say help, and I'll say this is the help menu. Our bot responded to us because it really recognized this command, and then it essentially just called whatever was in the function body. So that's pretty much it. This is just a super easy way. The only problem I can really see of this is if you wanted a command to have aliases. For example, if you wanted to, someone could just type exclamation point H. That would be a problem, but now that I think of it, I'll just, you could literally just, like, if you wanted just exclamation point H, we could do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting now, but we could just make this H, and instead of adding all this code, we can simply just call help and then just pass it. So you can have the same command do, I mean different names for the same command. You could just have it call one central command. So what I thought was a flaw in this really wasn't, because it's super simple to fix. So that's all from me. I hope you guys use this to make some pretty cool Discord bots. Like I said, for actual code on how to react, how to interact with Discord, you should look at the Discord documentation for that. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to claim to be. I just wanted to show you this way to set up your command parsing. Makes life a little bit easier. Helped me out. I hope it helps you guys out. And with that, I'm going to end this video.